Alright folks, we're back in time for you to hear that little beep beep get started. Again, said it's going to be a Billowy INnoVation versus Billowy. That's what we're going to get into.
You get a Bitstorm for the 29-month resub, and Mega Man Red for the 23-month resub.
Alright, game number 1 in a brand new best of 3. Spawning in the top left, we do have the red Protoss player, Billowy.
In the bottom right, as the blue Terran, he is INnoVation.
I kind of forgot about the stream deck I got set up. I think some Mega Man victory music actually wouldn't be too bad, especially for super special events like a tier 3 sub or something.
Sure, I don't really remember what the Mega Man victory theme is, but yeah.
I also accidentally deleted the snake file when I was cleaning up garbage on my PC, so I gotta go re-download that. So I don't have anything on the soundboard for today. It feels bad, man.
Oh.
But
Okay.
yeah, the Elgato Stream Deck. This is where we gotta like start pushing for the sponsorship. This thing's really cool. You need to get one of these, man. Well, I guess you don't really do production, but it's still really freaking cool.
Oh yeah, I mean, it looks tempting. It looks like a fun thing to work with. I use the stream, like Elgato Stream Capture, like card. So, I mean,
oh, that's right. Because
I'd still be down.
PlayStation, yeah.
Still be down for a sponsorship. But yeah, that's it looks really cool. It looks really fun. Oh boy. Okay, well, Billy versus INnoVation, PBT. Gotta imagine this goes in INnoVation's favor, but I do think it's a little more balance of a matchup than INnoVation versus Tails. Tails, he really only has a hot streak when it comes to PvP. And occasionally the Alima Leagues and the BTSLs have been PvP. Like a month ago, for a month, they were like just Protoss everywhere. And that's where Tails is having his heyday. But other than that, like he's never really shown fantastic PvZ or PvT. Billowy is still, I think, hit and miss too. So that's why I say INnoVation, I think, is still going to 2-0. But Billowy might actually surprise us.
Well, we've mentioned it about 1,000,000 times, so we might as well do it for 1,000,001. Billowy absolutely has the potential to beat INnoVation. There's no question about it. He actually does have the skills to pay the bills. But as we've said many times, he's also pretty inconsistent with what he can do well. Like, there will be those days where, honestly, he will defeat INnoVation, it'll be a 2-0, it'll look laughable, and then immediately lose the next round and faceplant into the ground. Like, he's inconsistent, and it's worrisome that he is, but the thing is, at the end of the day, like, we know he's got it in him because we've seen him do it before.
This is very annoying. The Reaper doesn't do much else economy-wise. Like, it obviously gets scouting, and that's important, but this time it actually is denying a little bit of economy. And if those probes were pulled in, then they would just get shot down. So this is worth a bunker if it can be salvaged, especially, and the Reaper's still going to get into the main base to scout. Successfully pulled all the units away, so a single Adept's not going to be able to stop it from scouting what it needs to. It's supposed to run away this time.
I kind of like that pullback, actually, because he knew there'd be something else waiting for him right now. Maybe he gets in there a little bit later and causes damage, or maybe it's just scouting. But I think INnoVation is perfectly fine. What he's done for the follow-up to this is going to be the Widow Mine drop, and this will get scouting most of the time anyways. So even if the Reaper is totally denied, there's no proper check back here, because he still hasn't seen anything on this side of the base. So like, if he doesn't know whether it's a Robo or Stargate or otherwise, it might be irrelevant, because the Widow Mine drop should reveal what he's got to worry about.
Yeah, INnoVation has been... well... oh, okay, the Reaper's right. He has been going for Widow Mine drops even when he knows his opponent's playing Stargate, and yet that's something that some Terrans were really just deciding wasn't worth it, and then INnoVation seems to be like, no, it's still worth it. Like, then it's just the off chance. So I don't think he's like, that's something that he read into, that he knows is a Robo, although there are possibilities, like seeing the what exact units are out here, but point is, it is a Robo, and it's into a very quick robotics bay, and it won't be able to shoot down this medevac too easily. If you get very lucky if it puts an overcharge. So INnoVation should be able to play around with this for a long time.
He's pretty good at getting away with medevacs, and hell, even the Reaper is a good example of this. Units that should die that don't. I like the unload on the low ground to actually chip away at the pylon. Baits an overcharge on this side too. Takes a little bit of pepper on the medevac, but overall not bad.
Yeah, maybe leave like one Marine to soak up the shots, and that's a bit better. But This is all posturing and making sure that Billowy is not scouting in the middle of the map because INnoVation is going to start a tank push here. Now, it's not like, stand combat kills or anything like that. It really is just to abuse the positioning on Abyssal Reef in particular. And the Widowmine drop was not exactly a fake. I mean, I think if he saw an opportunity to kill a couple of units or maybe it really was a freebie into the main or natural, he would have taken it. But more importantly, it's about keeping the units alive to protect the tank push.
Yeah, I love the snipe of the Widowmine, or the Observer, so good so that Widowmine can protect the tank more appropriately. Even if it's just slowly chipping away at the pylons. This will depower Blink. This will take away the overcharge defense, and 2 tanks can even kill the Nexus. Like, this is, for INnoVation, this forces Billowy to come to him.
Yeah. And tank pushes are really difficult to deal with if you don't go for Phoenixes. So this is...
There's some really slick micro there on the Marines for the front lines. It looks like the Immortal is just barely going to get the tank here. But this still kills the Immortals that we're defending. It depowered and delayed Blink. This push out of INnoVation has done so much damage.
Yeah, almost game ending. Both overcharges have successfully been depleted. Production is pretty A-okay for Billowy, gateway-wise, and he has a Colossus on the way, but a tank is already here again, Liberator as well. I think Billowy's going to take too much damage.
Yeah, actually, with nowhere to really warp in on the low ground comfortably, that Liberator can set up on the ramp and really shut all of this down, but picks off the Observer once again. Widowmine going to be untouched. GG. INnoVation looks insane.
Stomped.
That was a very good game out of INnoVation in many different ways. It just blows me away that Billowy was it felt like no match. Like that normally we have INnoVation come out to play. It's like a bit of a rough start. Maybe it takes game 1, lose game 1, whatever, make the excuse. But that was INnoVation like ready to freaking play today.
Yeah. Very clean, smooth build right there. And I mean, things that Billowy could have done better. I mean, one is Blink being on the front lines kind of sucked and maybe forced his hand when he didn't really want to. Maybe would have waited otherwise if that wasn't the case. And also just finding it in the middle of the map is always a difficult thing for tank pushes against any race. But Proxima is the next map.
I went to go look at that Reddit thing during the break you mentioned with Scarlet and the Lings. I didn't remember to do that. Hey, that reminds me, we've set a date for a show match that we're hosting in the first week of June, by the way. The match random page isn't going to be up for that just yet, but we've got a really cool banner set up and good to go. See if you guys can guess who the new player unveiling is going to be for the LFT.
Yeah. Ah. Yep.
Oh,
Get in, yeah.
Oh, you invited me as I joined. That's dangerous. Didn't block me out. Thank God. Ugh.
Playing the wild side.
Well, because I think it was me joining as you invited me that got that weird, like, I thought I was banned from the BattleNet message or whatever it was last time.
Oh, yeah? Yeah, all the weird commands that are coming up. Ugh. I swear, 10 years from now, still casting StarCraft occasionally, and it's just going to be like, just alert messages everywhere, command lines you don't understand, like random things not working. It's going to devolve into Brood War. It's never going to be fixed.
It'll already have been HD, so at least it'll have that much going for it. Aw, well, this is a real negative Nancy of a tweet there. So, I went to go check to see how many people had retweeted the BaseTradeTV tweet, as we do. And no offense, and this is in reply to our t-shirt. No offense, but you are honest to God in real life asking people to pay money to put this on their bodies. Is that really what you're doing? And you know what? I'm not even going to be shitty about this. I'm just going to say yes. Yes, who's this Dr. Praxis or whatever the fuck your name is? I'm not even going to go back to read it. Yes, we are, because it's a fan-friggin-tastic looking shirt. And there's only a couple days left to get it, so A, dude, if you want to support the channel, but B, now we can stick it to this guy. We've sold a little over 50 shirts. So our goal is met, and I'm really happy, and I'm glad that people want these shirts. But, of course, like down below, or exclamation mark shirts in the chat, we'll bring up the link to said t-shirt. It's game number 2, though, and he's down 1 at the moment. In the bottom left, we've got the blue Protoss Billowy.
In the top right, as the Red Terran, he is INnoVation.
INnoVation. More like Winnovation, because that was such a good game. Oh.
Yeah.
I don't even know why I'm using a silly voice for it. The reality is, like, that was actually an almost like perfectly played game. And even if we're going to get down to the nitpicking, like his Reaper control, it never actually scouted much, nor did I think the Reaper had any role in really killing anything that game. But it really, the bunker block, it weird, interesting, bought a few seconds of timing, followed up by like his push. Just there's so much I just want to be like INnoVation. Like I'm just bowing down to you. It was so cool watching that game.
I really I kept on checking his vision to see if there was any true indication that it wasn't a Stargate play. Obviously, after a certain time, there's no Oracle. You realize like, okay, it's not a Stargate, but that type of like tank play works especially well against someone trying to get to those Colossus, you know, building the stalkers with Blank and while the Immortal usually can help, obviously it wasn't quite enough. So like if that doesn't work out, then yeah, it's going to do very well. And I was just wondering if that was his plan because he knew it wasn't a robo, or maybe he did swap gears when he figured out it was a robo, or what it was, but it worked out absolutely perfectly.
It's like it's the whole thing like, was getting captured part of your plan all along? And you're like, yeah, definitely. Yeah, that was on purpose.
Definitely. Yeah. I'm gonna guess it was the Stargate, like the Oracle timing that passed, and he was like, okay, it's not an Oracle. But also, of course, the third base being delayed is an obvious scout for that one too. But he really never got in to see the robo. I think that went unscouted for the entirety of the game. But not gonna have quite the same success here, of course, without a factory, as INnoVation did go for Command Center first on Proxima. Billowy probably just went for Gateway Expand. I'm not sure, actually. I didn't look. But going for robo play again. He doesn't have to worry about tank pushes, but he is still going to have to worry about, you know, a lot of bio once he figures out what the build is. He was denied scouting.
Well, Triple Depot Wall is not a lot you're going to be, I guess, denying scouting too. If the barracks isn't there, it's hidden in the back because it wants a add-on of some variety. Also,
yeah, but go ahead.
I was gonna say real big thanks to Monty for the $20. No message with this, but he lets us let you know that we want to see that Marauders can shoot up? Question mark. I don't know how to phrase that. I lost it halfway through the sentence. But Monty, I want to, like, if you guys actually, if we could just take one small moment here. Monty, he's regularly contributing on the channel, and we see donations and bits and cheers, and he's a good guy and supports BaseTradeTV. But what a lot of you might not realize is he supports a lot of other StarCraft streamers. Like, chances are, if you've been on Wardy's stream, Livy B's stream, like, you'll see, like, a recent cheer or donation from him. He's actually, I don't know where he gets all the money. I'm just glad that the StarCraft scene has him, because, obviously, for helping us, but also everybody else. I would like to just take a moment to recognize and make sure everyone else knows what an absolute saint this guy is. Seriously.
Aww. Yeah, it's always really nice to see people we recognize in everyone else's chats, too, supporting and being cool. And
wait,
that's, like, something...
Are we supposed to be shitty and jealous and mad that he's giving money to other people? Because we hate everybody, right?
I mean, is it my stereotype?
Oh.
Yeah, but I was gonna say that it is also just like, I mean, of course, like actually supporting and giving money and that type of support is awesome too. But really, also just making sure that the chats are enjoyable for Twitch streamers is pretty important as well.
Yeah, and I know we'll get to the game, guys, in just a moment. This is about to shape up with the amount of Marines we have. But the other thing I enjoy, and it's a subtle thing, is like, I almost wish he would, like, a lot of people, they make donations, they want some attention. I'm a guy who does that. If I donate to somebody's stream, I want some fucking attention, right? The guy never leaves messages, and he doesn't spam in chat. He's not passive-aggressive. I really appreciate it. Like, a lot, actually.
Yeah.
Anyways, as I said, the things might be spicing up here soon. For Billowy's sake, like, he did kind of play this appropriately. He went for Colossus, so he's going to have that. Obviously, if you could get things like Storms against Bio, that's always going to be great. But for now, the area of effect damage from the Colossus should suffice. I'm not quite sure. I think extended Thermal Lance will be done in time for the fight, but it's more about whether he's got 2 or 3 Colossus. These will mow down Marines pretty quickly, but not so much Marauders.
Yeah. And INnoVation's army is mostly Marines, putting off reactors and just, cheaper, produced twice, all that. They don't quite have combat shields, and that is an issue right now, but 3 Marauders, they could on top of those Colossus.
I was going to say, this big drawback for Billowy right now is because he went for Colossus so quickly, he doesn't have a lot of fodder for them. So he's so reliant on these force fields. INnoVation essentially baited a force field for a couple of Marines, and normally that's not a big deal. I think when you have so few units, though, that's huge.
It's a scary point for both players. I mean, Proxima isn't really a choke at the third base, but it is somewhat of like, SimCity, the pylons there. Obviously, you don't want to go in the back of the mineral lines, and you're just choked in. So, like, it is actually a decent choke for Billowy. But at the same time, it is like, if I don't have a force field, then maybe those Marauders pounce on me, and I'm actually, like, going to lose a couple of very key units. As it is, I feel like Billowy might just be okay, but, the Observer saw the army in this huge concave before it was scanned, and that is still a very large army, 30 supply up, equal upgrades, maybe even like a bit of a head on the upgrades as 1-1 finishes up for INnoVation. And Billowy has got to be just on point about his army. Never looking away, never stepping out like this. Like, if he sets out like this, and then 1 second difference, a Colossus could go down.
Well, Liberators are going to make sure that that's a forced situation one way or the other. A lot of Marines melting right off the bat, but that's okay because INnoVation's got 90 army supply. He's got a lot of units he can afford to lose here.
Yeah. Finally, Billowy brings forth all of those stalkers. I guess they were, guarding against Liberator harassment and drops, but they misfire more than once.
Dragging and dropping some of the Widow Mines directly on top of the Colossus, too.
That was cool, but ineffective. I'm really like, the lack of sniping that last Liberator really came down to like a couple of missed micro shots with those stalkers, and that does suck because now it's guarded by Widow Mines.
Is there a Mr. Micro?
Okay, he gets it, and doesn't even take the shot from the one Widow Mine.
Ooh, it was slowed. He had concussor shells on him.
Okay,
well, then that one derps out. Anyways. INnoVation's happily pumping out 2 Liberators at a time. There's a second starport coming out behind this. He is so set for this. And if this siege goes on too long, he can always lift his main to that 4th gold. Like, I think this is going to very clearly be another INnoVation game.
He really, man, it really sucks his Liberators weren't taken out as fast as possible, basically. The one alive took up that 10 seconds that maybe otherwise Billowy has already pushed past this choke that the Liberators are abusing. He does still push it.
He doesn't lose his third. I really thought that third was about to go down with that wraparound of bio up here. Had that base gone down, I think Billowy would have been absolutely left without a paddle. But,
yeah, he didn't bother with them, bro.
He doesn't want any more Widow Mines.
No. There's a certain point where they're just not going to be worth the micro involved, to be honest. But I don't think still out of place.
If you're pumping 4 Liberators at a time, you're probably not too worried about the Widow Mines.
Yeah, right? So Billowy didn't even lose that much mining time on the third base either. He was pretty good about pulling away his probes and then putting them on occasionally. But, obviously there was a big dip that INnoVation as he set down his third base and muled it, obviously skyrocketed in that income advantage. Billowy has 4 Colossus and now has map control that hopefully the Liberators get sniped at least before they siege up 1 or 2. It's very dangerous. I think he knew there was no observer on his army though, so alright, I need to scan this army.
Liberators are gonna be okay-ish, but the stalkers can certainly circumvent them.
But yeah, if there was an observer on this army, Billowy doesn't go up this ramp, he goes up the ramp leading to the gold base and just circumvents the Liberators entirely. That kind of sucks.
If this denies the armor upgrades, actually, that's gonna be pretty big. That's one of the best things Billowy is going kind of on the back end of this, so INnoVation is simming around to catch the adepts before they have a chance to fight or even run away. Oh, it's a massacre!
Yeah. Even if they had all warped in, I'm not sure they would have been really that effective. This is bad. This is really bad. All the pylons being depowered. The gateway production, INnoVation simply held the Liberators and is now pushing forward with... He's going to have 11 Liberators with these last 4 coming out here. And if he gets into a choke, I don't think he can break them. Or just put him in the main base.
This is that line in the sand, you do not cross Billowy, so he's gonna lose everything in the main. There's nothing he can do about it. To take on the Liberators will lose him with the Stalkers, and I think it's just too many Liberators, frankly, either way.
Yeah, this is always gonna be a problem with quadruple Liberator production. You would have to be the best snipe map control Protoss ever, and well, that was circumvented by just dropping in his main base.
Yeah. Man, I wish the tasteless GG would play at the end of replays. Or not replays, casts, excuse me. So it clearly wasn't a replay, but also big thank you to XP2304. They contributed $10 to today's prize pool and then used the code BTSL7 to add another one. So $11 on that contribution, which is good to see. Brings the total prize pool up to $146. But as I mentioned before, and I will mention until we've used them all up, there are still codes available. So guys, hop on that !match arena train and use up the codes as fast as we can so we can make sure that we have the most money we can possibly pay to the players for today. But next up is going to be the first of two semifinals, Gumiho versus Alive, then Hurricane versus INnoVation, and then, of course, the grand finals. We'll go to a commercial break. I'll be back in 2 minutes, and we'll see you guys soon with more of the BTSL.